Well, I was born in a small town in Nebraska on 5 August 1919. I graduated just about in time to 41. 1942, I was in the Army, off to initially to Greenland. After a year there, I don't know who decided that they ought to send me to artillery officer school, where I got my commission in the field artillery, and off shortly thereafter to Belgium, Battle of the Bulge. Saw some pretty hard service during the Battle of the Bulge, and an exceptionally cold winter, 44, 45. You know, the United States Army was really not prepared, clothing-wise, for a Cold War. We didn't have very good equipment at all. It improved after a while, but in the beginning, it wasn't very good. I was a field artillery forward observer, and for those who don't know what that means, I was as far forward as you could get in front of the infantry, observing the enemy. I radioed back the firing instructions to the Fire Direction Center, which trained the guns, and we were equipped with 105 millimeter howitzers, and we had 6 105 self-propelled in my battery in the 7th Armored Division, 489th Armored Field Artillery Battalion. It was a momentous time, you know, and among the most momentous was the period during the Battle of the Bulge. It was a cold winter, 44, 45, very cold, and the Germans had concentrated their effort and tried to push through to Antwerp in order to divide the Americans and the British. And we backed off a little bit, established positions, and contained them. And then after we had held them for a while, we started pushing back. And once we pushed back, we didn't stop at the German border. We continued through to the end of the war. From Bad Godesberg, they had me move slowly south. And the first thing I hit was a great big hotel, the Rhine Hotel Dresden. It was, of course, completely evacuated except for one old man, the caretaker, who had a big brass ring loaded with keys. And I went in there and I told my men, I had a driver and a sergeant, to go up, find a good room in the top floor facing the river, and put my maps up, the battle maps, up on the wall there, and establish my radio communication. And meantime, I was going to go with this old caretaker and check out the place. And he opened this old cabinet, and a lot of old lawn chairs and things like that, and another one with umbrellas and so on. We finally got through the whole place because I wanted to make sure there were no spies left. Went to the basement, and there was a long corridor with a heavy oaken door at the end. And I said, that looks interesting to me. And I told the old man, "Effen der Tür, open up that door." And he says to me, "Ich habe keinen Schlüssel für diesen Tür." I don't have a key for that door. I didn't believe him. I reached for my .45. I'm left-handed. I pulled it out and I said, "Ich habe einen Schlüssel für diesen Tür." I've got a key for that door. He says, no. He didn't want me to shoot the door open. he found a key. And there was the biggest wine cellar in Western Germany. It was fantastic, loaded with wines. I think most of them were probably stolen from France. But there was not only wines, but liquors and all sorts of stuff. And I thought, holy mackerel, what am I going to do with this? I put a few cases in my Jeep, but a Jeep can't hold much. I called for my relay half truck, and the half truck held some more cases. But then I barely had dented the thing, so I called the division, told them to get the special service officer down here with some big trucks. And they did. They emptied out the wine cellar and distributed that stuff throughout the 7th Armored Division.